Welcome back to more Sip2Tally's Power Rankings. And today we're at our number 2016. And you can tell by the hoodie, this is a shout out to the guy that coaches this team. And if you don't know that, it is, and obviously this is a Ravens hoodie with the purple on, but just a shout out to the guy that coaches this team. The New England Patriots is our number 2016 on our more Sip2Tally Power Rankings. And let's kind of go ahead and get into the nuts and bolts of the New England Patriots and why they're on this. Is this the back end of the countdown? Yeah, the front end would be like the lower seat, like 1, 2, 3. So the back end of this countdown. And you knew that they would be here because they haven't really been that good since Tom left. So we'll start with the QB room. And again, New England Patriots, number 26. If this is your first time here, like, comment, subscribe, share. Tag Patriots fans here and abroad and let them know that we've got to New England on our countdown. But again, QB room, I have them ranked 29th. There is not much I like about their QB room. Not much at all. Their starting QB is Mac Jones from Alabama. And again, Mac at Alabama had probably one of the most talented supporting cast that a quarterback has ever had in his career in college. And I got to the NFL, and that supporting cast is not as good, and Mac is not very good, in my opinion. But that's my 2 cents. His backups are Bailey Zapp, and ESPN have Malik Cunningham listed as a 4th-string guy, has Trace McSorley listed as a 3rd-string guy, but Malik has been moved to receiver. I saw that probably about a week ago, so they've actually asked Malik to go play receiver in New England. And that'll kind of affect the receiver room. I don't know if they did that because Malik doesn't have the capability of playing quarterback in the NFL, or they don't see enough in that receiver room that they need extra help. That has yet to be seen, but we'll see once training camp starts and the receivers and quarterbacks start to do their thing up in New England. But I just don't like what I see in Mac Jones, the backups. That quarterback room is just not very good. I have them ranked 29th, and I don't want to talk about their quarterback room anymore. Running backs. Ramondre Stevenson is their starter. They don't have Damian Harris anymore. Behind Ramondre, they have Pierre Strong Jr., Ty Montgomery, Kevin Harris. I have their running back room ranked number 28 out of 32. Ramondre Stevenson did have over 1,000 yards. But it's pretty much Ramondre, and that's it. If something would happen to Ramondre, and I don't wish ill will on any NFL player, but if something would happen to him, Pierre Strong, Ty Montgomery, Kevin Harris, I don't have a lot of faith in those guys. So that's why, they're ranked so low. They're the 28th ranked running back room from my standards. Let's kind of slide on over to their wide receiver room. Now, again, I mentioned Malik Cunningham being asked to play wide receiver, and I don't know if it's because they were not impressed with his quarterbacking skills, or they didn't see enough out of their wide receivers, and they need some to bolster that room. But they have Juju Smith-Schuster, who's I think is on the back end of his career. I think he's declining. He was okay with the Chiefs, but not gang busting. He's not the Pittsburgh Steelers Juju Smith-Schuster. Not at all. They still have Devontae Parker, and he was okay. Tyquan Thornton, the rookie from Baylor, who's lightning fast. This is his 2nd year, so I think he's going to have a better season. They drafted Keyshawn Boutte from LSU amid all the stuff that went on with him. So we don't know if you get not last year, but year before last, Keyshawn Boutte, you might have a player. But if you get last year's Keyshawn Boutte, you might get a diva. So you really don't know. They still have Kendrick Bourne. So it's a lot of question marks in that wide receiver room. And I have that wide receiver room ranked 29 because it's just too many question marks. The leading receiver for that team was who's gone is Jacoby Myers. And the second leading receiver behind Jacoby Myers was a tight end. No, it was Devontae Parker. 539 yards. So nobody close to 1,000 yards. And part of that is the quarterback. Part of that is the quarterback. But let's move on to the tight end room. Tight end room, they have Hunter Henry. Now, I always tell this story anytime I talk about Hunter Henry. And if I'm not mistaken, I think this is the same guy. He was on IR, and I think he was with the Chargers at the time. And Stephen A. Smith, and this is one of the reasons why people don't like Stephen A. Smith. I think he was handed like a list of targets, not a list of targets, a list of like weapons for the but they still were San Diego Chargers at the time, I think. And he went on this tangent about how like he liked the weapons that they had on their team, and he named Hunter Henry as one of the weapons. And Hunter Henry had been on the IR all year, hadn't played a down. And he just, you know how once he gets going, he gets loud and his volume goes up. And the kid hadn't played a down all year, and social media destroyed him. But I digress. You don't get none of that here. We do our research for the most part. But he's a solid tight end. But what I really like is the combination that they have with my guy, who does his version of the gritty, and I call it the skedaddle. And if it ain't too much, I'll put it over my shoulder, one of these sides of him doing the skedaddle. That's Mike Gesicki. He played with the Dolphins last year. I really like Mike Gesicki's football game outside of his gritty. his football game is okay. He's a solid football player. And those two combined, I really like their tight end room. And if I didn't say it earlier, I have their tight end room ranked 16th. And let's move on to the O-line. And we know, the hoodie. The hoodie is a run the ball type of guy, especially not having Tom Brady. So they try to keep good O-linemen. And they have Trent Brown, Cole Strange, David Andrews, Micah Hanu, and Riley Reef. And a lot of people were scratching their head at the Cole Strange pick last year, but it turned out to be okay for him. He played solid. And, they're a solid O-line. I have them ranked at number 17. They have some good pieces up there. And if they produce the way I think they will, they'll be able to run the ball okay as long as Stevens is healthy. But they're going to see a lot of stacked boxes because people going to make Mac Jones beat them. They're going to see a lot of stacked boxes, and people going to make Mac Jones beat them. So they're going to be tested early and often and late. Now, I say early and often, but late too. Early, often, and late. Early, middle, late, and all the time. So just let's say all the time. They're going to be tested all the time. That's just cover all the bases. Let's move over to the defensive side. Now, their base defense is 3-4. So we're really going to talk about their front five, which will be their nose, defensive ends, outside linebackers. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you the number for that group. I have ranked 24th, which is probably going to be shocking to some people because Judon is in that group. But let me just give you everybody, and then I'll get into the why. Lawrence Guy's in that group at left defensive end. Nose tackle is Devon Gaucho. I think that's how you say it. It's got an X at the end of it, so I'm not really sure how to pronounce it. Dietrich Wise is an okay piece. And Matt Judon is in that group, and Jawad Bentley also. Now, let's talk about Judon for a minute. Judon had 15.5 sacks last year. 15.5. That's a good number. At one point, Judon was leading the league. I thought he was going to lead the league in sacks. But Judon is not, with that number, Judon is not really beating guys off the edge. He's not, hand fighting, doing that thing. And he's not like bull rushing guys. Most of Judon's sacks, and I know because I did a study of it about midway through the season on why Judon was leading the league and how he was getting his sacks. Most of his sacks was coming on a stunt move with another defensive lineman. And we know the hoodie is a defensive guy. So, and I'm not taking a shot at Judon, no shots fired at Judon, but a lot of those sacks came off stunts, well-timed stunts that was coached up and called right. The hoodie. And a lot of times in the NFL and in college football, your Jimmys and Joes make the coaches. There are very few instances where the coaches help the Jimmys and Joes. The coaches can hurt the Jimmys and Joes, but there are very few instances where the coaches make the Jimmys and Joes right. This guy makes his Jimmys and Joes better. That's the hoodie. That's Bill Belichick. He makes his Jimmys and Joes better, especially on the defensive side, because he's a defensive guy. Now, but that's why I have their defensive line ranked 24, because I think Belichick's schemes and calls makes them look a lot better than they are. And again, it's not no shade at Judon. I really like Judon, really do. And I think if he was asked to beat guys off the edge all the time, because he does do it sometimes. I'm not saying he never does it. If he was asked to just straight do one-on-ones with tackles, he could win. Could he win to the tune of 15 and a half sacks? Don't know. Maybe he could, maybe he can't. But we'll see. But we won't see because they coached up very well. Let's go to their linebackers. Now, this is where, if any Patriots fans are watching, they probably say this ranking should be flipped, because I have their linebacker crew ranked 11th, whereas I have their front five ranked 24th, because I really like their linebacker crew. I really do. And names in that linebacker crew, you have Josh Uche, you have Talavera, I can't say it, and you have Bentley. The thing about those guys is they're so versatile. So versatile that you really don't have to take them out. The only way you have to take them out if you get like a straight nickel package from the offense, or you get some kind of empty set, because they can come up on the edge and blitz. They can get in coverage. They play zone well. Now they ain't the man coverage guys, especially when you run a bunch of receivers out there. But what linebackers are. But if you're in close to a base personnel, you don't have to take them guys out. And I really love their versatility. But again, that could be this dude. Could be the hoodie. So I have their linebacker crew ranked 11th. All right. Move on the back end. And this is where they're not very good on the back end. But I take that back. They okay on the back end. They're okay. Their cornerback room just not very good. As corners, they have Jonathan Jones and they have Christian Gonzalez. And I got them ranked 24th because Christian Gonzalez is slated to be their starter. And just like I have with those quarterbacks that are rookies, I'm not giving the rookies any slack. Because they haven't touched the grass yet. So if you have a rookie slated to be the starter, you can't be ranked too high for me. Jonathan Jones is good. He's solid. If Christian Gonzalez is your starter, and I know Christian Gonzalez was good in college, but in the NFL, he hadn't touched grass yet. So I have that room ranked 24th, because if Christian Gonzalez is your second best corner and he hadn't played a snap yet, I can't have you ranked too high. And I know he's a good corner in college, but you got to understand, you got to prove it to me first. All right. So that room is ranked 24th. Now, their safety room I like. They got 4 guys at safety that I like. 4. I got their safety room ranked 7th. I'm gonna give you all 4 names I like. I like Kyle Duggar. I like his versatility. I like Jabril Peppers. I like his versatility. Jabril Peppers can drop down and play some linebacker for you too. I like Adrian Phillips, and I like Jalen Mills. Those of you that don't remember Jalen Mills used to play with the colored tips. If I'm not mistaken, he played for the Eagles for a while too, with the green tips and with the red tips. So I like the versatility they have at the safety position. Because, I mean, you can go with those spread, packages. They can drop Duggar and Phillips down at linebacker, and then they can drop Duggar and Peppers at linebacker, and then have Phillips and Mills at their 2 deep safeties, and then you got some guys that can run. And I ain't saying speedsters, but you could take your bigger linebacker, your run defenders out, and then you still got linebacker-ish guys in there to do what you need to do. But again, this dude, and I got the utmost respect for Belichick. It's one of the, I read his book on his scouting book, and my respect and admiration for him has been through the roof since, because of, just when you read the book, you get an understanding of how he thinks and whatnot. And I think he takes average guys and makes them a lot better, with the exception of Tom Brady. Tom Brady was different, but he takes average guys on that defensive side and makes them a heck of a times better. Now, if he ever gets a dude on defense, like Judon is a dude, and you see what he's getting out of Judon. Oh, I didn't know what that was. That was like Siri. My bad. But Judon's a dude, and see what he's doing with Judon. Judon don't have a bunch of guys around him. He got like average guys around him, and he's producing 15 sacks. Because the reason I say that, because if you got one dude and average guys, you really just double the dude, and then your solo blocks with the rest of them. But they can't double Judon because he getting all these stunts and different things going on, and he's still getting 15 and a half sacks. And you Belichick. But again, I digress. New England's number and the number that I have on my paper is not right. Let me get you the right number. Their total number, when you average out all their different position groups, is 20.55556, which makes them the 26th team on the more Sip2Tally power rankings. And let me tell you how close some of this is. Because I think Brodney asked me like the difference in numbers. And I'm not going to tell you the team names, but my 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th team all have their 20 something. The 27th team, which was yesterday, the Colts, they're 20.666 something. Today's team, the Patriots, they're 20.555 something. Tomorrow's team, I'm not telling you, 20.444 something. The team after that, I'm not telling you, 20.111 something. That's how close some of this stuff is. That's how close it is when I, put all this stuff together. So don't think there's this huge gap between teams. It's not. It's 32 teams. The number 1 team is 8 something. The number 32 team is just under 25. So you scrunch all that in between. That's how close this is. So that is not a huge discrepancy between, and I'll even tell you the first 3 teams all are in the 8s. That's just how close it is. So I gave you a little hint of what's to come for the next 3 weeks. But again, I appreciate you guys for coming through. And again, the number 20, the number 26 team is the New England Patriots. Like, comment, share. If you have any Patriots fans in your circle, share it with them. If you are a Patriots fan, make sure to let me know, so I'll make sure to look out for you when the season fires up, because we're going to have a lot of content from the other 31 teams except for the Ravens on this channel. We're slowly growing, which I notice it every day. We're picking up 1, 2, 3, 4 followers, so we'll be hitting 600 soon, and hopefully by mid-season we'll be at 1,000. I thank you for tuning in. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with me. Peace, y'all. If you have not hit the like button, please do so before I hit stop recording.